Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to take a closer look at Advanced Micro Devices, ticker AMD. The company is doing amazing in the past 5 days. The stock is up nearly 14%. Year to date, the stock is up over 100%. We can see from these returns, a lot of the returns are coming from the past few days after the company announced their MI300X accelerator and a vast amount of, I want to say, clouding server providers that are partnering up with MI300 and AMD for this AI solution. So in today's episode, I want to do something pretty interesting. I want to take a closer look at AMD, a closer look at their PE ratios, and then take a closer look at what analysts are expecting this company to do in forms of revenue for the upcoming years. And I want to show from my overall kind of studies of this kind of industry if I believe these analyst expectations are underestimating, overestimating, or properly so. So let's take a closer look in today's episode. So AMD is a company I've been discussing numerous times in this channel in forms of adding, in forms of when I think it's attractive. The most recent was when this stock hit about $100 less than a few months ago, right? We were sitting at below $100 in October. And I've definitely pumped out a nice amount of videos between September and October when they were below $100, when I did believe this was a very, very attractive price point. And one of the
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
main reasons I believe it was attractive is because I do believe then that the market was underestimating how much AMD can progress with this AI, especially when we took a closer look at revenue. So right now here on the screen, I do have revenue outlook for what the company made in 2022 and what's estimated to make this current fiscal year, which is the end of this quarter that's coming in December or January, I forget what's the actual month, but it's the end of this quarter that we're in right now. And we can see when we look at revenue is pretty much flat versus in 2022 actuals versus 2023 forecast is going to be roughly $23 billion. And this is in 2023, we definitely had a very interesting market in the semiconductor space. We had a very, very weak consumer electronics market. We also had a weak data center inventory market. We did have a strong embedded market, but we also have a ramping down gaming market, right? So we definitely had a lot of negativity coming in for AMD in the first half of 2023. In the second half of 2023, we did see some improvements in consumer client electronics, nowhere near where we were in the top. We're kind of seeing a increase from the bottom, right? So we're kind of making that U shape right now, and we're still pretty much in the low end there. So it's improving data center correction as well. So we're still seeing ramping down on the gaming market, and we are ramping down in the embedded market, or seeing some weakness in the embedded market here in the second half of 2023. So overall, we can see why the market was pretty much flat for AMD in 2022 versus 2023, as the company did have numerous weakness in the space. All right, so next let's take a closer look at how analysts expect the growth from 2023, which is expected to end in a quarter from now, versus next year, 2024. But before we do that, guys, I do want to say thank you guys for the support. I'm trying to hit 30,000 subs by the end of the year. I only have a few more weeks, so hopefully we can do it. I do have a membership program for the semiconductor market with weekly exclusive videos. Make sure to check that out. Special offer at fool.com/Jose and free newsletter at josenajarro.substack.com. Now, when we take a closer look at the end of 2023, which is going to be the end of this quarter, revenue is expected to be that $22.7 billion, right? That we keep discussing. Now, 2024 forecast, which is about a year and 1 quarter from now, AMD is expected to have roughly $26.4 billion. That's roughly a $4 billion growth between 2023 and 2024. We do know where some of this growth is coming from, right? We've heard from AMD that $2 billion is coming from AI accelerator, right? So we already have half of this growth coming from a new market, and that's the AI accelerator, the MI300X. Now we have to kind of understand, where is this other $2 billion coming from? And is it feasible? And I do want to say yes, because we are seeing big improvements in the consumer electronics. We are kind of seeing an improvement in PC shipments in 2020. Next year, we're going to see some strong growth there, especially with AI solutions entering the PC market, the Windows refresh, and numerous things. So I do believe the consumer electronics can definitely get us a good growth there for the next year. We're also seeing improvements in data center, right? Data center inventory corrections are ending, and we are going to start to see more investments in data centers thanks to things like AI and high performance computing. We are unfortunately expected to have at least the first half weak in the embedded market, but I think that's okay, especially if the second half we start to see kind of that return there. And unfortunately, we are going to be seeing some ramping down in the gaming market because we are coming to that lower late cycle in the Xbox and the PlayStation. But I do believe that the other 2 billion can easily come from that consumer electronics and from the improving data center. So for me, I do believe that these numbers that we see for 2024, they're not necessarily impossible to get. I do believe this is very, very easy for AMD to reach what analysts are expecting next year. Now, I actually wanted to go a year after, and this is taking a closer look at 2024 versus 2025. And revenue there is expected to grow another $4 billion, so to roughly $30.8 billion. Now, where is the $4 billion coming from? Overall, we're still going to be expecting, right? 2024 and 2025 are expecting to be a strong year for the consumer electronic markets in forms of computer shipments. So huge improvements in the consumer electronics there. I do believe that can help there. And just the overall improvements in data centers, CPUs, GPUs in general, an improvement in the embedded market. Unfortunately, I do believe we're still going to be ramping down in the gaming market. So 2025, with what we know, I don't believe it's impossible to get those extra $4 billion. And I even kind of take a closer look at some other things. Now, when we looked at AMD, they did talk about their AI event. And one thing they mentioned in their AI event is that the AI accelerator market is expected to grow from $45 billion in 2023 to roughly $400 billion in 2027. So I wanted to do some back end math here. So 2023, we had $45 billion. 2024, let's assume, right, that 70 compounded annual growth rate doesn't mean that every year will be 70. Maybe some years might be 50, maybe some years might be 100, and so on and so forth. But on average, it's going to be 70. So let's assume that for these calculations. So in 2024, this market is expected to be $76 billion. This is the time frame when AMD believes they can get $2 billion in this market. That's roughly 2% only. So I do believe AMD can easily get this. Now for 2025, let's increase that market by 70 again, and that's expected to be 129 billion. Now, if they get 3.5% of that market, that's roughly 4.5 billion. That's an extra 2.5 billion. So AMD is, in my opinion, feasible to be able to get 3% of this AI accelerator market. Now, that's only 2.5 extra billion from 2024. So they still need to get about a 1.5 billion more to kind of get that extra 4 billion. And AMD, they are continuing to gain market share in the server space in CPU versus Intel. So that's definitely going to be another bullish trend for there. Outside of the clouding CPU server market, AMD is very, very low in the enterprise market. They are very underrepresented there. And AMD does believe that they can grow in the enterprise market. Now, fast forward into 2025, macroeconomics should be good. So AMD, in theory, should be able to kind of see that boost in spending in enterprise and be able to enter this space a lot faster. So I do believe that's also going to help with that revenue. Gaining client CPU market share versus Intel. We do know that AMD right now has roughly less than 30%, I believe, of market share in client CPU. So they can continue to get in client market as well. An increasement in embedded market, data center, automotive industry continues to grow. Aerospace and defense control continues to grow. The medical field continues to grow. So because of their embedded market, I do believe that's also going to help them. Now in their client gaming, they can also actually gain market share in the GPU for the consumer space against Nvidia. So I do believe it's not impossible and very easy for AMD to get these extra $4 billion, right? And I actually think they can do better than that. All right, so now is AMD expensive? Now, this is an interesting question, and I do believe the answer is how long are you willing to wait? So, if we look at PE ratio forward, which is the PE ratio expected to be by the end of this fiscal year, which in technically ends in one quarter, PE ratio is expected to be 51.6. So, if you are looking at maybe an investment for the next few months, it definitely seems expensive. Now, forward 1 year, 36 is the end of next fiscal year. So, technically, one quarter and 1 year from now, which would be the end of 2024. PE ratio there is 36. I want to say if you're looking maybe for the next few months as well, maybe a little bit more than 6 months, it's still somewhat expensive. Now, I don't have the PE ratio for 2025 in graph, but I am able to calculate it really quickly. So, based on estimations, AMD is expected to have earnings per share of roughly $5.06 2 fiscal years ahead. 2 fiscal years ahead is the end of 2025. With the earnings per share of that at current prices, that would give a PE ratio of 26. Now, we can definitely see that now looking at the end of 2025, PE ratio is looking a little bit more attractive. I personally am not a fan of investing in numbers right now because it does look cheap multiple years ahead. Now, like I mentioned, I really enjoy AMD at price points below $100. At low $100, this PE 2 fiscal years ahead from now would actually be below 20, which to me looks very, very impressive and very, very attractive. I do believe at the end of the day, though, AMD is going to outperform on all these estimations that analysts have right now, just because I do believe they're underestimating how much AMD can grow in the AI market. Now, how much are they outperform determines on how this AI market evolves over time. There is a possibility that it's going to be small outperforms in certain years, and other years could be a huge, huge boom like we're seeing in Nvidia. So I don't believe AMD is going to have its Nvidia moment. I do believe that's short lived for Nvidia at the space right now, but they're definitely going to outperform and kind of show some great numbers. So for me, I have no intentions of buying AMD at these levels, but I would gladly buy and add into my portfolio if it drops below $100. And I do believe there's numerous growth opportunities here.